Hey guys, Ewok Pilot here, and today we're taking a look at some Firestar Toys customs. These are figures that I've really wanted to look at for a while, so this is a video I'm pretty excited to make. We're going to be taking a look at some figures from Andor and some figures from Stranger Things, which I know the finale ended up being pretty atrocious, but I still think these figures are pretty cool. They're from seasons that I actually did enjoy. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. We're going to start out with our Stranger Things figures. First we've got our man Steve the Hare Harrington right here. I don't know, they do the custom naming thing where they don't give it the name of the actual character, who's probably is named like Hair Hero or something like that, I don't know. But, right off the bat, it is a UV printed figure, so it is not pad printed, so you're going to see, when we take a closer look at it, you actually do have a little bit of texturing, which I think Firestar Toys is actually one of the few custom makers that gets pretty right. It's not like a texture that stands out a whole lot, and you can't really see it from most angles on the figure. As you can see, I have to like really get it into the reflection of the sunlight in order for it to actually capture the fact that it is UV printed, and you can feel it a little bit, but it feels pretty smooth overall. So I think Firestar Toys is one of the few custom makers that has actually pretty much nailed UV printing. Now, as you can see, he is pretty detailed, but I don't think he's overly detailed. He is like a CMF figure. He's got some side printing on the feet, and there's nothing on the inside. Again, like CMF quality detail, you wouldn't see that. And then there's no printing on the back of the legs either. He's got some detail for his shoes. I think the color for the jeans is actually really good. I think Lego kind of messed up when they made their official set, did not really nail the color of the jeans very well. And then this is his season 4 appearance as far as I'm aware. So he's got that jacket and shirt that he wore throughout most of season 4 until, of course, he goes into the Upside Down and gets attacked by the demo bats. And then he's got this really nice custom, it's a 3D printed, I believe, hairpiece. It is not an injection mold at all. It's 3D printed and it's painted. You can actually see that it's painted when you take it off and look on the inside. So I believe, just looking at the texture and everything, I believe it's a resin print. It is not a filament print. So you don't really see the layer lines on there at all. But I think it came out really, really good. You can't really, like, in terms of the feeling of it, it feels just like a Lego piece. I would just be a bit more careful with this because it is painted, so the paint might chip. If you have Transformers at all, you know what paint chipping is like. But I think that this figure is incredibly well detailed. I think he came out looking great. He even comes with this fun little extra teenage life. Steve, my life as a single mom. That's just a funny joke for the fans. I mean, I don't really care for this, but I'm sure there are some people who love this and think this is great. So I think this is a really good figure. He's, I believe, $30. I will double check that and put it in a pinned comment in the description. Links to all of these will be available below because these figures are not limited releases. They do actually continue to manufacture these things. So if you want to buy them, you can feel free to check out the link in the description. I do highly recommend Firestar Toys, even if you do not live in Europe. Shipping it to the United States isn't too expensive, so I would highly recommend buying this. So, next figure we have up is Max. Now, of course, this one is also from Season 4, if you couldn't tell just by the appearance of the jacket. And she's also got her iconic Walkman right there playing Running Up That Hill. What did they call it on here? They call it a Brick Man. Now, yep, this is also UV printed. The tile is, everything's UV printed. Once again, we've got a custom hairpiece here. It is another resin print with paint on it. The paint applications are really nice. I haven't really noticed any issues in my time handling these figures. I did handle them before I did this. I just want to give you all the unboxing experience. Once again, we've got CMF level detail. We've got printing for the shoes right there. I think they look pretty good. Not overly detailed, just something to just give you a little representation of what's going on the shoes. Then we've got really nice jacket detail. We got that yellow stripe on the sides. And then we've got the face, which is the thing I have a little bit of issues with. I don't know, she just looks a little too old with this face. I think the bags under the eyes is what's really doing it. Maybe the freckles on the top of the head. I don't know. It feels a little too detailed. She feels like she's not, you know, Max from the show. It feels like she's really old, like a 30-year-old or something. I don't know. But we got this nice headphone piece that they used for Robin in the new Stranger Things set. And then on the back, we've just got just normal printing. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I mean, the Stranger Things figures aren't overly detailed or anything. They're just nice. Oh, you've also got the possessed face, which actually this figure was made before Lego did their Creel House set. So this isn't even copying what they did with Will. Maybe Lego got this idea from Firestar Toys. Who knows? But I think this figure looks great. I think it's awesome. Once again, about the same price as Steve. So if you like the Steve figure and you want a Season 4 collection of more accurate figures than what Lego did, I think this is a great deal for you. I think this is worth your money for sure. Now moving on to what is a cinematic masterpiece in Andor, we're going to start out with this 2-pack of Dedra and Syril. Now if you haven't seen Andor, I highly recommend. But you're about to see 2 pretty good figures from that show. So of course, LEGO has now made an official Dedra Miro minifigure, but she is wearing her trench coat. She is not just wearing her standard uniform. So if you want a standard uniform version of Dedra, I mean, this right here, this is a good version for you. She's got a little data pad right here, which has some nice little detailing. I don't know if it's supposed to represent anything specific. It just looks like a neat little data pad. It's also UV printed. It is a LEGO, I believe this is a book piece. I don't know. This is a piece I haven't really seen used before, but she's got the same thing going on with her hair. She's got just custom resin printed and painted hair. Once again, paint applications are very good. It looks like it was a LEGO piece molded in that color. You can't really tell, but I would be careful with it. We've got no printing on the legs, but that is accurate because I believe she's wearing black pants and black boots, so I don't see any reason you would need to print down there. And then we've got just a little bit of printing on the hips right here to continue the torso down. Nothing on the back, which I think maybe they should have done just to keep it consistent right here. It probably wouldn't have cost them very much extra. We've got the correct number of code cylinders as well as the correct rank insignia right there. And then on the back of her head, she has a scared face because Dedra gets scared sometimes. I don't know. But I think this figure looks great. Not too complex, once again, but the Imperial uniforms also aren't super complex in the first place. It does resemble Denise Gaw pretty well. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. But yeah, good figure. Also would recommend. Get it cheaper if you get it in the 2-pack with Syril. So if you also want Syril Karn, here he is in his outfit that he was wearing on Gorman. So if you want the Gorman Massacre version of Syril, he comes with this little spider. I mean, this is just a normal LEGO spider piece. This is not a custom mold or anything, but I do think it pretty accurately represents what we see in the show, the little gift that he gets for his mom. He's got a briefcase, once again, also not a custom piece, just a LEGO briefcase piece. So this is all the custom stuff. We got custom printing on the legs. He's only printed on the front of the legs because you get this little skirt piece, which is just a continuous trench coat down, so they didn't want to print on the side of the legs. You're going to cover it up anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that decision. Not really much of a point. If you don't like the fact that there is the little piece of cloth that is representing his clothes, sorry, I guess that's kind of tough for you. Not a lot of printing on this guy. As you can see, only really the black lines and then that white part are actually printed. Everything else is just the normal torso. So these lines do stand out a little bit more just because of how much they contrast. But again, from most angles, you don't really see it. We've got no printing on the arms, no printing on the side of the torso, and then a little bit of printing on the back, but not a whole lot. Once again, custom printed and painted hairpiece. Actually, oh no, this is just a custom painted hairpiece. You see it's an official LEGO mold right there. That's interesting. Did not even know that before. Well, yeah. He's just a pretty simple figure. I mean, Syril's a pretty simple character, so not really much to be expected there, but it is really cool to have this in the collection. If you wanted to, for whatever reason, recreate a mock of the Gorman Massacre, I mean, this duo right here, this is the perfect duo for you. Speaking of Andor, we've got Andor and Mon Mothma, also from the same arc of the show. Pretty cool. So we've got Andor and Mon Mothma. We're going to start with Mon Mothma. We'll finish with Cassian. All right, so as you can see, we've got another really funny printed tile. Speech notes, freedom is wizard, which is an episode 1 reference if you didn't know. Emperor Palpatine is a big, bad, meanie head. I do remember when Mon Mothma said that. That was an iconic quote. And then buy Mothma merch. Wow, she plugging the merch. I guess they didn't get to do that in the show. I don't remember her plugging her merch in the show. This is pretty cool right here. She's got her senator garbs and everything in blue. The torso is blue, and you've got the printed on tan and white details. And there's a little bit of light gray right there representing the lines. See, she's got a little bit of foot printing. I don't really know if that was necessary. I feel like they could have left that off. But the leg printing is really nice. It is dual molded. So I guess these are the Fantastic Four legs or something. I don't know. But yeah, these are actually dual molded. This isn't a print or anything deceiving you like GCC. It is an actual dual mold. And it's UV printed on. You've got the UV printing on the front. And then up on the torso, we've got no printing on the arms or on the sides of the torsos, which is fine. I mean, she doesn't really need it. Pretty simple uniform again. And then I believe this is once again, yep, this is a custom printed and painted piece of hair. Got 2 faces for her. I don't really know if that's supposed to be like scared or happy. I don't know. But I do think that this captures the Genevieve O'Reilly Mon Mothma pretty well. This looks pretty much like her in the show. Maybe the hair piece is like the one complaint I have. I feel like it should just cover a little bit more of her face, just from my memory of the show. But I think this figure looks pretty good. And then lastly, from Firestar Toys, we have Cassian Andor, which this is one of my favorite custom minifigures that I have. I kind of want to make a mock of the Senate just so I can have him and Mon Mothma in there, because this figure just looks so great. We've got this custom MW20 Briar pistol. I don't know if this is Firestar Toys or if this is Brick Arms or some other custom manufacturer, but this thing just looks great. I wish there was some way to have this thing painted, and maybe I will figure out how to paint miniatures to do it myself. But having like the weathering on this would be really cool. But I mean, as it is right here, this thing is pretty sick. I really like this piece a lot. Moving that out of the way, we've got Cassian here. He's got the same thing going on with the legs. He's wearing a long trench coat, so they didn't print the sides of his legs, but they did include a cloth piece to just continue that down. I think it looks pretty good. I think it adds to the figure, especially because you got on the back. I think that just looks good, that angle. But he's got a little satchel right here, which we can actually go ahead and remove so that we can see the rest of the figure a little bit better. But Cassian has got his hairpiece that he has, and I believe he has this in the new U-Wing set. If not, you can correct me in the comments. But yeah, this is an official Lego piece, but this is probably a knockoff version of it. It is just the Han Solo hair, but I'm not seeing the Lego logo in there. So maybe they bought a knockoff copy. Oh, no, I see the Lego logo. Never mind, we're good. Yeah, this is just the Han Solo hair in dark brown. And then, of course, we've got a little bit of arm printing for the cuffs right there, which I think is a good little bit of added detail that just helps make the figure look better. And I think this does a really good job of matching the Lego style. I believe if Lego made this, they would do it exactly like this, except they probably wouldn't print the legs. If they did, the color wouldn't match, and they also wouldn't include cloth, because Lego doesn't like making good figures anymore. But we've got the really nice scarring right there. I mean, it matches the official Lego design for Diego Luna's face perfectly. And then we've just got the backside with, again, really matching how he looked in this bit of the show. We've got really nice back printing as well. I think this captures this costume just so well. I think that this is one of the best custom Lego minifigures I have seen come out of the Star Wars community. And I'm just really happy to have all of these in my collection. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. We've got just some really amazing custom figures from Firestar Toys. Again, all UV printing, but I mean, UV printing can work. As you can see in this video, I feel like UV printing is not nearly as bad. Pad printing, of course, is the best solution when people can do pad printing. I think it's great, but I think Firestar Toys has really nailed it down, and I think that they are killing it with their figures. It also helps them produce them faster because they don't have to get the custom plates done and everything for pad printing. If you don't know really the differences between the two, I recommend looking into that. It helps just explain a lot. But I think that these figures are absolutely incredible, and I think that Firestar Toys should really keep it up. Hopefully make more figures from Andor. There's still a lot of stuff from that show that I would like to see in Lego form to make some just pretty cool dioramas. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you want to see more videos on custom figures, custom builds, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.